Alright, so I'm Jordan from Island Web Design, and I just want to dive in and show you behind the scenes of a real web design project that we did for one of our clients. I'm going to show you exactly how we transformed their online presence and their users' experience. And I don't just mean UX as in the term UX like it gets thrown around. I mean we actually transformed their users' experience, and we did all this with nothing but a new website and a new content management system. Now, you know how I like to do these videos. This is packed full of value, no fancy editing or anything like that. I'm just going to dive in. I'm going to take you through my Figma project. I'm going to take you into my code base. I'm going to show you how I made the advanced contact form, behind the scenes on the content management system and all that. So this is packed full of value. Now let's get into it. All right, so we're on my website here. I'm not going to do any cuts or anything on this video. I've got a few notes down there that I'm going to be looking at of bullet points I want to cover, and that's it. I'm just going to take you through and show you everything about this project. So if we go down to my portfolio here, it's this one, the Vale Church. I'm actually basing all of this case study here, which you guys are welcome to go read. That is on my website. You can find it at islandwebdesign.net by just going to the case study there. The link will be in the description. And if we view the live website here, I'm just going to show you guys the website first. Now, we actually designed this website a while ago, and I was so happy with the result of this site. It's a beautiful, effective site that covers all of the goals that were laid out in the initial plan, which I'm going to get to in a second. We'll just take a little look at the site first. See the very simple, very subtle loading animation here, where the fancy text looks like it writes itself in. And as we scroll down, the whole point of this site, so what I want to start off with is the problem with the old site. Now, I don't actually have the old site. It was a WordPress website, but the problem with the old site was it was becoming, all the information was stale. They weren't able to update the site because WordPress was too difficult to use and no one had taught them how. And it got to the point where people that were using their site, people that were part of the Vale Church community and all that, they couldn't find what they were looking for. They were actually contacting Vale Church saying, we can't find what we're looking for. So that was why they brought me in. And one of the first things that I said about this site is that needs to be the goal for the site. It needs to be easy to use, easy to navigate, because the people that are coming here may not necessarily have a high tech skill level, but they need to be able to find what they're looking for. And there's so much content on this site, activities, facilities, the church magazine, their prayers, the different rooms you can hire, you can make donations. There is so much on here. I'm actually going to get into the content now. So as I say, the goal for the site was easy to use and navigate, but I think we've really managed to do that here. And I actually built and coded a custom sort of search menu where you can either search by person or by facility, which I'm going to show you shortly. So when we looked at the old site and kind of tried to determine which information was important and what we wanted to keep, we kind of ended up working out that it was all important. There's loads of it. This is all important. The Vale Church does a lot of different things, and all of the people that come to the Vale Church and take part in these things, there's a massive broad range of people that are interested in all the different things. So we need to keep all of it, right? So the main goal was find a good way to structure this information. This is a 3-page website. So we had 3 pages. That was the scope in order to get all this information in. And every single member of the Vale Church had written text. If we go over to the church activities and facilities here, down to this search by thing. So you can either search by person, activities and facilities, or by room. So let's say we want to search by person. We land here. Every single one of these people has their own section. It's just a big long scroll-based page, and this includes the text they wrote and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to search for, so let's say Beverly here. She is the pastoral care and magazine editor. So if you click on Beverly, you go to pastoral care. But if you want to search by facility, and you come along here and you end up choosing pastoral care, you go to the same place, just slightly further down. So in reality, there is 2 ways to access both parts, whether you're searching by the person that's associated with the part, or by the actual facility, activity, event, whatever it is that's associated with that person. Making this site really easy to navigate, because now people can just come here, they can go church activities and facilities. Right, I'm looking for a room. Click rooms, okay, I'm interested in this room, bang, and now I'm here. I can see on the map exactly where it is. And with Guernsey being a small local community, this is really, really helpful. And I now know that if I want to book this room, these are the requirements. And if I want to book it, I can click book now. I'll go straight to the form, and it's already populated with the room I was looking for. We'll get onto the advanced contact form in a sec, because the form is awesome. But that is kind of how the search functionality works. Because as I said, I wanted everyone to be able to find everything, which is why that even though this is 3 pages, we have loads of links up here. And we have 2 main call to actions here, with the main one being who's who, and you go straight here to be able to search. So if I just have a look at my notes here, the next thing we want to go on to, I'm actually going to talk about the tech stack, because I would have usually built a really content-rich site like this with Astro, which is a JavaScript framework, static site generator. We usually use a mixture of Astro and Sanity for the CMS. And we did still use Sanity for the CMS, but this site, we started this site so long ago that this was before we introduced Astro in our tech stack in Island Web Design. So I actually developed this site in vanilla HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and it is like, this is a complex site with a lot of information all being pulled in from a really easy to use content management system. We're going to dive into the code base and the content management system so you can see how awesome that is. But the point here is I did this with vanilla JavaScript, and this was loads of HTML template strings. Let me show you an example here of what some of the, if we look here, I actually had to write my own function to render portable text because I wasn't able to install NPM packages in this project. We were using just CDN links and stuff. So I actually had to write my own function to convert all of the block text to HTML. So if you want to see the code for that, just drop it in the comments and I'll send you the code. You can DM me on Instagram or whatever. I'll send you the code. And as you can see here, when we're actually fetching from the Sanity API, if we just scroll down here, a lot of this stuff is all done with template strings. You see here, so I've got this extension that actually highlights the template strings. So if you put a comment with HTML in and you have this extension running, another thing, if you drop in the comments, I'll send you the extension, it will actually highlight all of your HTML template strings as if they were actual HTML in a HTML file. So all of this is rendered with HTML strings. It was really complex, and Prettier doesn't prettify HTML strings, so it became really difficult to do, but regardless, we got it working. So we're going to dive into the code base a little bit more later. So if we just go back over here, as I say, that was the scope. I built this with vanilla HTML, JavaScript, and CMS, and I'll just take you to the actual content management system here, which is the Vale Church Sanity Studio that I built in vanilla HTML, CSS, and JavaScript as well. And in here, they have their homepage with all of the different sections. They can go into any section and make any edits to it they want. For example, like let's say here in the service times, they want to go in and they want to change when the service times are, this one, sorry. They can go into any of these and just change the time. It's really simple to use, and then all they would need to do is click publish. So let me just show you. If we go over here to home, and we go to the service times, which are down here, you see how this one is 8:30 a.m.? Well, if I just go into here, which one are we changing here? It'd be the fourth one. So this one here, and let's make this 8:31 and publish. I always just refresh the page if it takes too long, and there you go. Bang, and now it's 8:31. So that's how simple it is. This is all of the API calls to Sanity are happening on the client. There's no build step or anything like that, so it's completely live. And so yeah, that's how they change the service times and stuff like that. But I mean, they can change any section on here really. So let me just put that back. And the cool thing about this content management system, I'm not going to get ahead of myself. You guys need to stay tuned to the end if you want to see the cool thing about the content management system and all of the actual elaborate stuff we can do with just this sidebar here. But for now, what we're actually talking about is the tech stack. As I say, I mean, this is vanilla HTML, CSS, and JavaScript with a content management system. And we actually have an advanced contact form. So firstly, I want to talk to you guys about the magazine widget. The Vale Church have a really popular magazine, and they already had like all of these magazines on their old website. And the widget they were using was just an iframe that you could embed. So I was like, this is perfect. You already have all of your magazines in it. Let's just keep the widget that your users are familiar with. At least it gives them something from the old site they're familiar with. So if we go to the magazine section here, this is just an iframe, and it may not be designed too nicely. It's a bit of an outdated design, but look how cool this is. So you can just upload all of the magazines, and people can just come here and read through them. Flick through them like this. So that was really handy, and we just kept that from the old site because we wanted something users could feel familiar with, and it meant that Beverly, who is the lady from Vale Church, could just keep uploading the magazine. She didn't have to learn a new system on that side, you know? So anyway, the next thing that I want to speak about here is the design assets, because this site is beautiful, and they didn't have really a style guide, predetermined font or colors or anything like that, but I did just try and keep in with the fonts and stuff that they had tended to use around their branding and their different marketing efforts, their magazine and stuff. So what I decided to do, I thought this site is like, it looks really nice and clean, but I want to just give it something that makes it unique and makes the design stand out and look a bit more premium. So on top of the animations we did, where as you can see when I scroll in here, this text types in nice subtle little animations. But I also found these awesome pencil illustrations, which I feel represented their brand really well, and I put them in the background. These are SVGs. I just got them from FreePic. So if we get into my Figma file here, you can see like this isn't quite how the site ended up, and obviously there was a load of different iterations here that we ended up landing on. But like all I've actually done in the Figma file here is I've got a load of these SVGs, which you can see here, which I just got from FreePic. If you want me to send you the link, drop it in the comments. And those are literally just SVGs that I've just put in. and turn the opacity right down in the background. And then in the HTML, they just position absolute in the background. So we added that, which I think really added to the brand, and it just gave people that like warm, authentic feel. It's all just like, you know, trees, nature. Vale Church is surrounded by a very similar landscape, so I just think that it gave the feel that we wanted to give with the site, and just broke up a lot of the white space and stuff like that. So as you can see here, I was playing around with this design for ages. I've got all sorts of different images around and stuff, and I tried loads of different things. And over here is when I actually decided, right, we need a search by person, search by facilities thing to make this site really easy to use. As you can see here, I actually was going to do buttons like this, but when I actually tried to code these in CSS, it was so difficult to keep them right while the screen was being responsive. So if you're a developer and you can relate to that, hit like. What do they say? Smash the like button. So yeah, smash the like button, mate. And so yeah, and I designed this in here. I decided that people should be able to, rather than just go straight down to search by team, search by service, you should be able to choose what you want to search by, and you kind of get a clear description, if we go to the actual live site, of like what you're searching by. Search by Vale Church team member. So I thought that was the best way to kind of do that, and then this is done with SwiperJS. So normally I would use the Swiper web component, but we actually had to use just normal Swiper in here. So if I just go into my code, search for Swiper container, you can see that the Swiper is, oh no, we did use the web component. Yeah, because look, we've got Swiper slide and all that kind of stuff. So this web component is super easy to use, because all you need to do is put init false on it, and then you can actually just like write the script for it in your file over here, like so, you see. So yeah, I use SwiperJS for all sliders because it's awesome. It already has pre-touch like installed on it and all that. So yeah, so let me just unlock my phone, because as I said, I'm just following some bullet points here. So we spoke about the pre-existing magazine widget and the design assets, color and typography. So one of the main messages that Beverly put across to me, and what actually let me decide on the message for the site, was she said, Vale Church is about inclusivity. And I said, okay, so everybody is welcome. Everyone is welcome at Vale Church, which is what led me to decide on this messaging and the tone of voice. But to be honest, a lot of these guys already provided their text, and the tone of voice that they wrote in was already welcoming, so it just fit. Like their whole thing is inclusive and welcoming, so they were already speaking like that and using that tone of voice anyway. So I just came in and, you know, made that a part of the new site. So yeah, and then that was what made me decide on the title, which is obviously everyone is welcome at Vale Church, and it just sets the tone for the entire site. Everyone is welcome, and no matter your tech level, you're going to be able to find your way around this site. All right, I know I said I wasn't going to do any cuts, but I forgot the advanced contact form, and this is really cool because we use email.js now and like SMTP servers or the HubSpot Forms API. But back when we did this, I was using Form Submit, which I was really happy with. It was really simple to use. It was free. The only problem was they had their own form capture page, which was a bit annoying, but it wasn't the end of the world. But this contact form, there is like this massive list of people you can contact. So not only down here do you have like every single person and their email where you can click to email them, but you also have a drop down in the contact form that selects each person. But when you change who you're contacting here in the contact form, the actual email behind the scenes that this form is being sent to changes as well. So I'll show you in the code base here. All that's actually happening is we have the big list here that makes the select menu in HTML. And then you see here, formsubmit.co. Well, this is literally the URL you need with form submit, and whatever email is on the end is the email it gets submitted to. So I've actually written a script over here. We just search for email. So this script adds an event listener for when the contact form select box changes, and it looks for the value. And if the value matches, it changes the email suffix variable to the correct email, and then it sets the attribute on the contact form to that email suffix with the form submit URL as the prefix. So basically every time you change, it changes. But not only that, let's say that you're searching by person. So if we just go over to search by person, and you end up with Mike Bubb, and you want to contact Mike. You click here. This is already changed to pre-populate to Mike. And the email behind the scenes is already changed to Mike as well. And that's just another function down here that's doing the same thing. We've got a timeout to make sure everything is scrolled into view in time and all that kind of stuff. And then basically what we're doing is we are splitting the URL of the window, finding the hash, and then if the URL hash matches the ID of the option that the contact form just changed, after the timeout happens, the contact form will scroll into view. And then we will run the same thing again, where we just check what the value is. This time we're checking the option ID. And then depending on what the option ID is, we're changing the email suffix and then setting the attribute on the form. So that was a really simple way of getting this to work with form submit. All we're doing is changing the URL in the background with JavaScript. And in future videos, I'll show you how we're doing even cooler stuff with the contact form as well. The other awesome thing about this site actually is if we go over to the history page, or one of the awesome things about this site is these old images I found. Like this is actually an old 1800 image of the Vale Church. There was another one as well, like an awesome 1800s photograph of the actual Vale Church, but I couldn't get the guy to part with it, unfortunately. But yeah, so that was like another awesome design element that was added in there. But yeah, I just wanted to come in and let you know about the form that I forgot to mention. So, I've spoken to you about the navigation and the search functionality, but one thing I haven't spoken to you about, which is super cool, is because there's so much information on here and it's going to change often and all that, all of these links up here for like parts of the site that we want to be easy to find. Because remember, this is big, long, scroll-based pages, so we want people to be able to find things easily. It's also why we have this back to top button here, you see? People can always get back to the top. But if we go into the header links here in the CMS, they can actually control all the links. So if they want to reorder them, they can just reorder them. And it's reordered, you see? Put that back. And then if they want to add a new link, they can just add a new link. So click here, it'll say where the link goes. If I want it to go to a section on the site, I can just anchor to the section before you can add one. And I don't want to delete the one I just added. One of the ones that's actually being used for a real page. And you can actually reorder all of the navigation links like that. And the last two, so you decide which ones you want to be the most important, and whichever are the last two are the main call to action buttons here. And the one that is third from last becomes the main button up here, right? And obviously you choose where the destination for that goes and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, as I say, I built the CMS with vanilla JavaScript, and I was still able to implement all this cool stuff where you can update all the header links. You've got every section of the page with every piece of content that you can get in. You can reorder these sections and all that kind of stuff. And even in the rooms here, for example, you can go into your rooms and they've got all the information on both the rooms. They can edit all the features, reorder them and all that kind of stuff. So the CMS becomes super complex. And I'm actually going to show you how I build these really complex CMSs in Astro Insanity. As I said, we built this one ages ago, so it was done in vanilla JavaScript. I'm going to do a full tutorial next week about how I do an actual Sanity implementation with Astro and Sanity. So make sure you subscribe for that, because that's my main unique selling point, is my custom dashboards, my custom backends that I use so people can control their content is way easier to use than the WordPress or the Wix or whatever that they're already with. And a lot of the time these people, their content has gone stale and all that because they just can't update their WordPress website. So I come in with these custom built CMSs and solve that problem for them. Up here they've got all their media, so they can upload all their files. On the more complex version of these, you can have your own videos, you can upload your own policies, and it will create a privacy policy page. So there really is loads you can do with that. And the other awesome thing about this site is if we just go to the site, with all of this content, all the different API calls, there's maps all over this page. There's maps here, there's this magazine IFrame being pulled in. Oh, we've got donations on here. So they already had a donation page. I just made a pop-up. So you come here, donate with SumUp. I actually designed this over in Figma, as we'll see. So I basically, is it on this one? Oh no, look, it started off as a PayPal button and we decided to use SumUp instead. So then, yeah, and then I built this pop-up, and I'll show you the code for that. I mean, the way that works is it's just an iframe with a website link in. It's really simple. You can see it's literally just an iframe with a link to the site. And then the way that works is you click here and bang. You can donate, you can go through, you can pay in here, everything. So that was another thing I kept from the old site and just brought it up to scratch with the new design. Really easy to use, and it means they can carry on taking donations in the same place. So what was I going to talk to you about? Oh, the Lighthouse audit. So the other great thing about this site is with all the content, all the different iframes, the API calls, all the different maps on this site, if we run a Lighthouse audit right now in front of you, I'll do this live. Let's see what the results will be. I'm pretty confident. By the way, for anybody that's using pagespeed.web.dev, you can just right click on your site, click inspect, and go up to Lighthouse here, and you can run the test. See how confident I was? Because I knew that this site was going to score well. 99, 91, 96, 91. And just to show you that I'm not hiding anything from you, let's do mobile now. Imagine it's like 2. Be like, oh shit, we're gonna have to cut that out of the video, man. You guys don't mind if I vape in here, right? That's awesome. You're always going to sacrifice a bit of performance on mobile, but this is amazing, to be honest. So yeah, amazing Lighthouse score. All of the sites I build have amazing Lighthouse scores, unless we decide to sacrifice performance for like premium animations or something like that. So on top of this site like being a hit with their new customers, right? Sorry, not their new customers, their users. The new site being a hit with their users. They can find everything they're looking for. They love the new design. They know how to find their way around. But not only that, on top of all that, the site scores amazing on Lighthouse scores. It's super easy for them to update. And if we just go over to the case study here, which is what I've kind of based this all on. Let me go right to the bottom. Beverly wrote me a lovely review for this. I encourage you guys to go read it. It's on the case study page, which you can find in the link in the description. And I mean, I'm going to be doing loads of case studies about all the sites I've built, because you actually go and look at my portfolio on my website. I build a load of websites for a load of local businesses. They're all hit websites. They're all modern premium websites. So I really encourage you guys to go check that out. I mean, look at this one. This is an artist website I did for a guy named Kev Ash. I may even do a case study on this soon, but this site is beautiful. So yeah, anyway, we'll get back on with the Vale Church now. So I've shown you guys the site. I spoke about the testimonial, and from here it was the launch. When we launched, we just made sure that we got this on all the channels that we know the Vale Church users are at. So we made sure it was in their magazine. We made sure it was on Facebook. We didn't really do too much marketing. They already had a loyal customer base. All they needed was a good site to go to where they could actually find their way around, right? And when I say a customer base, I know it's not customers, but they already had a loyal community. So all they needed was a good site to be able to go to. And also all they needed was to be able to update their site, get all the new information on there, and keep it updated easily. And now they've got that. Obviously, it's been a hit with their users, hence why they wrote me that amazing review, which as I say, I encourage you guys to go read. We have like 45-star reviews across Google and Facebook. And I'm pretty sure that's basically it. That's how I built the site. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that insight into how we transform the Vale Church's online presence with a new website and a new content management system. We've got a massive portfolio of websites. We've built loads of websites for loads of businesses. I'm going to be diving into loads more of those in the future, showing you deeper into my code base and how I design these sites. So make sure you subscribe for more. And if you want to see all the awesome work that we're doing for our clients at Island Web Design, you can find the link to our website in the description. We've got over 45-star reviews on Google and Facebook, so it's well worth checking out. Thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribe for more.